The art career of Matilda Lotz started in Franklin, Tennessee at an early age, 4 or 5 years old, when she was drawing animals in the dirt on the property with a stick. And on November 29th of 1864, it was her birthday. And at 4 a.m. on November 30th, they awake to the screaming of the hogs and the sheep and the milk cows and such. And for a 6-year-old, much less adults, to have to hear this, it had to have been mind-boggling. Can you imagine little Matilda Lotz walking through all that with her family? The screaming and the gunfire and the artillery and the horses screaming. And there's no doubt that her little shoes were stained with blood. She painted her first painting at 6 years old of sheep. It was the sheep that were slaughtered back there. Mr. Lotz sold everything he had, and by a wagon. The family moved to St. Louis and made that 6 months trek by a wagon train to San Jose, California. And in time, her family enrolled her in the California School of Design. And she had great ability. She opened up her own studio just outside of Paris. And while there, she had the attention of the Duke and Duchess of Portland and was invited to their castle, Welbeck, in England, where she painted 117 of his horses. And somewhere around the turn of the century, her health was poor. She decided to go to Egypt, no less, traveling down the Nile, a single woman, to Cairo. She loved animals, dogs, oxen, and camels in Egypt. And she brought goodness to their face. Now, we could call her, one, a Renaissance woman. Women did not travel by themselves then, much less all over the world. And number two, you could call her an animal whisperer, or in the fact that animals loved her. Would take her to the Woodworth Garden Zoo, and there she would sketch the lines. And the animal whisperer, she could literally put her hands through the cage and pet the lions and bears. And this was written in newspapers in Europe. He painted the Baroness Rothschild out of France, asked her to come and paint their St. Bernard dog, Jumbo. And the dog fell in love with her. And after Matilda, they called her Tilly, presented the painting to the Baroness, she gave her the dog. Matilda had not married up until 1913. She thought it would hurt her creativity. In 1913, she met a Hungarian artist by the name of Count Franz Blankovitz. And they married. She was 55 years old, and they stayed married for 10 years. They were in Algiers painting in the 1917 era when the war began, World War I, and the French government put her under house arrest with her husband and finally evicted them. She left all her art there, as well as a collection of art she had collected over her life. And she died in 1923 in Hungary. And she is considered to this day one of the premier female pioneer artists in California. And it all began when she was 4 or 5 years old, drawing animals with a stick in the dirt on the property of the Lotz house.